What is up, YouTube? It's your boy RisKK, and we back once again with another video, man. And in this one, I'm showing you guys another build video, and honestly, one of my favorite build videos, because feature one of my favorite players to watch in the NBA, which is gonna be none other than Anthony Davis. All right, so in this video, I'll be showing you guys an Anthony Davis build, what I would consider the best big man build in the game. So before we get into it, make sure you hit that like button and that subscribe button with that notification bell if you have not yet. Other than that, let's get right into the build.
She know I keep the bag on me. How I got a couple racks on me. I'ma hit it, then I dip. No, I do not trust a bitch, cause they all be the same to me. All these thoughts always running through my head. I'ma get the bag, double back for the bread. I'd rather smoke a blunt, kicking back in my bed. And yeah, she in my line, cause she know I'm getting bread.
When making a build, the first step is going to make sure you pick the right, pie chart or skill breakdown chart. A lot of you guys mess up on this, and this is honestly one of the easiest, parts of making a build. So when we talk about the NBA players, I like to, base it based off, what they do in the NBA. So I'm going to think about what Anthony Davis does in the NBA. Obviously, he could defend and, get rebounds. So we want some defense in him. He could also finish in the paint. He could also shoot. He could do post fades, mid-range shots, and even that three-point shot. And he could even do playmaking. He could pass the ball, distribute the ball pretty well. But obviously, to make a build of all those four things is very difficult. So we're going to look at, the main things he does, which in my opinion, I think defense and finishing are his main attributes when it comes to Anthony Davis. Yes, he could shoot, but that's not the main part of his play style. Alright, so that's why I'm gonna get this pie chart right here, which actually gives me defense and finishing, and then a little bit of shooting and playmaking, but we're really not gonna focus on that playmaking. But you will see later that shooting is actually good enough, to make this build pretty good. Now, when we talk about the physical profile, when it comes to any physical profile, more or less you want to get the last one. It's the most balanced one. And I think even for Anthony Davis purposes, I think it fits him pretty well because he's pretty decently fast. Has decent vertical, decent strength, and all that. All right, so when we go to the the attributes, obviously we're gonna start off by maxing out the most important thing, which is gonna be our defense. We're gonna come back to this later, but we're just gonna max it out for now, so we can kind of allocate our points a little bit. So when we max out our defense, next is obviously gonna be finishing. Alright, so when we talk about finishing, the most important stats would be our close shot and our standing dunk. And now we upgrade our shooting, and it gives us 7 shooting badges when we have 12 attributes left. I am not happy with that. So we add the 12 to the driving left. We get a little bit more badges, but we're gonna hold off on that. So what I do here, and keep this in mind because this is a trick you guys can do for all your builds. I am a center. A center is very slow, so being slow, you're not gonna be on the perimeter a lot. And you most likely will not be stealing the ball a lot because you're not going to be spamming X on the guard a lot. So those 3 stats, when you lower them, they will not give you many badge points. So I recommend always on the center you lower those 3 attributes first, and it will allow you to get attributes elsewhere. As you see, I lowered that, allowing me to get my finishing essentially maxed out. I essentially have every finishing attribute maxed out. And the reason I don't is because I upgraded my shooting, which a lot of people make this build. This is a paint beast if you guys do not know yet. This is a paint beast build. A lot of people make this build, but they don't upgrade the shooting. Let me tell you something. Look at the shooting stats we're getting right now. 48 three-point shot, 62 mid-range, 75 post-fade. 75 post-fade. Anthony Davis post-fades a lot. And you can also implement that when it comes to 2K. You can be post-fading. Just that little, ability to post-fade will make you a little bit more diverse and force people to guard you differently than everybody else, which is what I love. I love being different with my builds. I love being able to do things that not everybody can, and that's going to be post-fading when it comes to this build. And don't get me wrong, that mid-range shot is usable. Don't get me wrong, that mid-range shot is usable. A 62 mid-range shot with 7 badges is, very usable, alright? So when you're looking at all the badges in total, we're looking at around 19 finishing, 7 shooting, and about 24 defense is what, the best combination I was able to find. Now, body type, I like, built. For Anthony Davis, I like built. He's not really burly, I like built. Now, for the height, Anthony Davis IRL is 6'11", which is why I'm going 6'11". Also, look at the the bonuses we get by going 6'11". We're getting higher speed, vertical acceleration, driving layup, driving dunk, 3-point, or not 3-point, but mid-range, free throw, and all that. So, doesn't really hurt to go 6'11". I love going 6'11" in my centers this year, but that's personal preference for me. Now, your weight, obviously, as you see, we're going higher in weight. Nothing's going to change because we already have 95 strength, so nothing changes going higher. And if we go lower, we lose too much strength. All right. So it's all about, really trying to, play around with the sliders here. And what I find to be is that 251 is the highest you could go without losing any acceleration or vertical and, maintaining 95 strength, which is exactly what I go with. Now the wingspan is pretty important as well. Wingspan, alright, is what pretty much determines a lot of things. Obviously your wingspan, but that affects a lot of stats. Literally almost every stat in the game. So when we talk about going minimum wingspan, we don't want that because yes, we get a higher 3-point shot and all that, but our defense is useless. Now you go max, you see our mid-range shooting is going to go down a lot, and it's going to hurt a lot, which is eliminating the main purpose of this build to be able to shoot a little bit and space the floor. So I like going 91.0 because yes, our mid-range goes down a little bit, but not too much to the point where it's usable. We will also get our block rating to the 90s, which is obviously excellent when it comes to that and this build in general. So that pretty much wraps up the build when it comes to the paint beast build. That's all you really need. Alright, you need those attributes, and you'll be able to space the floor, post fade. So yes, you are a paint beast, but you're more than the average paint beast, which is what I try to do for you guys. Right, I give you builds that will allow you to just be different. Alright, and I didn't really talk about the takeover, but the takeover is you're gonna want rim protector takeover. I think rim protector takeover, it fits Anthony Davis more. But obviously you could always take glass clean. But remember, I'm basing this more off Anthony Davis. So yes, rim protector takeover is the goal or the way to go with this build. Now, don't forget also, when you hit 99 overall, remember you get +4, I believe, to all your attributes. So that mid-range shot is gonna be a 66. You cannot go wrong with that, because if we're talking about your point guard having Hall of Fame dimer or floor general, you could have potentially a 70 mid-range and get a pass off a Hall of Fame dimer. I personally don't think you'll be missing much off that. So now going into the badges, obviously you guys don't need to stay for this part, but I just like showing you guys the badges, based off, this build in particular, because every build is different, needs different badges to be the best it can be. So with this one for finishing, obviously, I'm going to go with contact finishing, lob city, back down punisher, slithery finisher, and then probably relentless finisher, right? And when it comes to the what these badges do and what they will do when it comes to this build, when we talk about back down punisher, I think that's much better than drop stepper, and a lot of you be more physical in the paint, which is what Anthony Davis does. Obviously you guys know what contact finisher does. It helps to posterize his lob city, catch the lobs. Relentless will actually reduce your stamina drain when you're going to attack the basket. So when you combine that with back down punisher, it's actually very overpowered. And slithery finisher is also just a very overpowered badge, and avoid contact, get lower percentage of being covered in the paint, therefore increasing your chances of making your shot in the paint. Now the shooting is where it gets really interesting, alright, because we have 7. And this promotes a few different play styles and how you want to use this build. What I mean by this is, let's say you're going for the inside type of paint beast, alright. You want to be physical in the paint, and you just want to be a little bit more versatile. So you want to add that post fade. Remember, we have a 75 post fade rating. So you want to go deep. You want to go deep fades on gold. You want to be able to post fade, and you want to be able to use that and excel at that certain category or that certain skill. So you go deep, post fades gold. There's no problem with that. It's a great badge, and it will work phenomenally. You could also combine that with a badge like Green Machine and maybe Quick Draw. But let's say you don't want to go that route. Alright, you want to go a route where you want to be able to shoot the mid-range consistently, or even maybe the 3-ball, at times potentially. Alright, so you want to find a good badge combination. And that's where it gets tricky, alright? Because, for example, I like this right here, the Silver Catch and Shoot, Gold Hot Zone Hunter, and Silver Quick Draw. But the problem is Hot Zone Hunter, hot spots are not easy to get anymore. So considering we have a low, mid-range and 3-point, is it going to be easy to get those hot spots to make that badge useful? That's the real question. So that's why, I might consider, going Gold Catch and Shoot and Silver Green Machine instead of that. But, honestly, when it comes to this, you're going to have a low rating. Threes are going to be really hard to shoot. Mid-ranges, you're going to be able to shoot that. Trust me, you'll be able to shoot that. That's the same range as a glass lock. So you just got to really find the badges that suit you. Like, for example, if you could, shoot with a bronze quick draw, that will allow you to get bronze limitless. So, it kind of just, it's based off, what you think you could do. And, just trial and error pretty much when it comes to these 7 shooting badges. For any, type of builds, a lot of trial and error, when it comes to, making a build, choosing the badges and all that and whatnot. Because it all revolves around your playstyle, which is beautiful this year. I can't just, tell you something and it's going to 100% work for you and everybody else. Everybody is going to have different ways of scoring and, different, ways of shooting better and, whatnot. So when it comes to playmaking, there's a few, there's one badge which honestly, pretty important. All right, if you're playing the 3s court or the Pro M5v5 or the Jordan Rec Center, I recommend, break starter, make those full court passes. If you're not, if you're playing 2s, you don't need that. So when we look at the other badges, I think Needle Thread will be the best one, honestly, because you're in the 2s court, you could get a rebound, get a little bit, of a chance, not, getting your pass stolen by just passing it out to your guard. Now, the most important, obviously, defense and rebounding. We have the ability to get 6 Hall of Fame badges, but I don't believe I'll get 6, and you'll see why later. So for now, we're gonna start, with the brick wall Hall of Fame, the basic ones: brick wall Hall of Fame, rebound chaser Hall of Fame, rim protector Hall of Fame. I'm gonna put worm on Hall of Fame. I'll explain that later. I'm gonna put worm on Hall of Fame. All right. There's just 8 left. I'm gonna get Intimidator Hall of Fame. All right, because we need Intimidator. And now here's what we're gonna change it up. Brick wall, I don't need Hall of Fame. I'll tell you guys why. All-Star 2, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's All-Star 2. You get a badge called, Park Crusher or Screen Crusher, something like that, which will help you set screens. And honestly, I don't see a big difference between, gold and Hall of Fame brick wall. So I lower that to gold, and I get gold box. There's just be 2 upgrades left. What to do with that? Silver Chase on Artist. Silver Chase on Artist will help you in pick and roll situations, get chase down blocks, and it just gives you better animations all in all. And when you're going back to the badges, defensively, we have Rim Protector, Intimidator to lock up the paint, Worm to get those offensive rebounds, and obviously Box to get defensive rebounds. So we could excel on the rebounding end, and since that's the main focal point of this build, to get rebounds and score off the rebounds, which is why I have Worm on Hall of Fame. And then the chase on artist, I already explained it to you guys, and that's pretty much it, honestly. When it comes to the badges you need, obviously you could always change it a little bit, try out, instead of chase on artist or box, you could put post move lockdown Hall of Fame or pogo stick. There's always gonna be room for you to change a little bit of stuff that you might not prefer. But other than that, I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys do enjoy the the whole process. Me showing you guys the builds, the badges. If there's anything that you didn't like or I did wrong, don't be afraid to point it out in the comments. I love constructive criticism. Just let me know down below. Other than that, it's your boy Risk, and
It's funny how now she be calling me back. She see that I got it, I'm stuck in the trap. 40 autos, let me put it right back. 40 autos and he left in the back. I can't be trusting cause people just act. I get the money, I run it right back. The plug on my phone, I get to these racks. The plug on my phone, I'm gonna get back. I can't be trusting cause people be switching and